God bless you, family. King Jesus bless you. Happy weekend. Happy Saturday, guys. Thank you for tuning in. So, the alien deception will explain away the rapture, right? Many of us know this. It is self-evident. That alien narrative has been pushed, UFOs, extraterrestrial stuff, for 100 years. I think it was the early 1900s. I remember doing a search online talking about some of the earliest films about UFOs and other life in other places. So everyone knows about so-called aliens, right? And it's so interesting. Even from February of 23, I was doing a quick search online, and even Elon Musk on his Twitter X, he was talking about, oh, I'm just hanging out, chilling with some of my friends, and he put little alien and UFO emojis. And even him pushing, and however you may feel about Elon Musk, he is pushing this otherworldly angle, even with traveling to Mars. When you think about that, the Lord created a firmament, and how NASA has said in the past that they went to the moon, then they said they destroyed the technology, and it's very painful to build back to return, to the question of why haven't you returned? And now current people in NASA will say that we can only fly in lower Earth orbit, and we can't go beyond that. Well, what the heck? There's conflicting information here, right? So when Elon is pushing, we're going to go to Mars and we're going to colonize and do these things, especially a person like him with a great platform, that's putting in people's minds that there's potential, this opportunity. These are available options that can happen. That alien thing is a massive. And we see from the book of Revelation that I, John, saw 3 evil spirits like frogs coming out of dragon, antichrist, and false prophet. So that's where I think the alien angle is going to be. These players in the end times, in the 70th week of Daniel, they're going to be seemingly otherworldly, hybrid type of people appearing, but really like hybrid with so-called aliens. And kind of the thumbnail I used for this video was with a quote from a YouTube channel. What's it called? I think it's called like JWTV. This brother who talks about just really cool, interesting things. He was talking about some people in Arizona who they were zooming in. The woman was outside of the truck, and she was zoomed in at some low hovering saucers, like really low above some houses. And they weren't going anywhere. They were just chilling, sitting there. And I did a quick search online, and Arizona has the 4th most UFO sightings in America, behind Alaska, Alabama, and Arkansas, of all states, and then Arizona, and then Cali. So they get a lot of UFO sightings, and these ones were so blatant. In the past, it was maybe something that moved really quick and was gone. They weren't really hanging around too much. I mean, some were, but these were several saucers, low hovering, and then the guy's like, oh, there's other ones behind those houses, and they're like freaking out, sounding scared. So this push seems to be so much more blatant, so much more, these things are here, these things are bold, and they're hanging around. We also know that there is Project Bluebeam, there's military, there's different ways to manifest and show these saucers and these these perplexing things. What are they? Okay. And then we also have the star of Jacob's sorrow, that bright star. Have you guys been seeing that in the heavens? Every night I look for it. Like when I'm taking the dogs out for a walk, and as soon as I can see it, I'm looking, and I've zoomed in and taken some pictures, and that thing is bright and big. I wish I had a telescope. I gotta get a telescope, because what is that thing? Is that Jesus? Is that an it's an angel, or it's King Jesus? Is something amazing, or it could be, I don't know. It's something. But from Jeremiah 37, talking about, it made me think of, was it Jeremiah 37? Sorry guys, I had a few scriptures wrote down here. Maybe it wasn't. Numbers 24. Numbers having so much, but Numbers 24, 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Okay, so this star of Jacob, right? A lot of people are saying this star appeared when King Jesus was born, and now it's back here in these latter days. The Lord uses those sun, moon, and stars for signs and for seasons and for light, but definitely for signs and communication. So, okay, with these things that we're seeing, it's also in conjunction with, right? So that's that 2 Thessalonians 2 piece. What happened to the believers? The Lord will send strong delusion so that they will believe the lie. What happened to the people, to many people? They're not going to say King Jesus raptured them. They're going to say this alien narrative. We know this. And in conjunction with that nuclear rapture angle, there's now a new nuclear apocalypse map. Some of you may have seen this. I saw the headline on End Times headlines, showing it going through every state and showing like what would the fallout be, how many people there are there at any given time, how many would be killed immediately, how many would be injured, and such. So again, just more mainstream, more blatant, more alien stuff in your face, the congressional hearings in your face. Yes, we have biologics. Yes, we've had communications. They're saying it. There's no more shrouded secrecy. They're saying, oh yeah, they're there. We're communicating with them. They're among us. We have been. What? And now the nuclear talk, right? These things are going to come together in that moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at that nuclear situation. The dead in Christ will be raised first, and we who remain will be caught up. And also, what did Putin say recently? From economictimes.com, Russia threatens U.S. nuclear war by Christmas. Here's what we know of threats and possible responses. So Russia is currently in a state of war with Ukraine, but is now planning on expanding its war scenario to the United States as well. According to a warning by pro-Putin spokesperson Sergei Markov, will the geopolitical tensions between both the countries increase after these statements? Okay. And U.S., of course, had supplied Ukraine with some long-range attack missiles. So after we did that, Russia has directly threatened U.S. about launching nuke strikes at Western nations by Christmas. So one of you had commented like a Christmas rapture. Yeah, wow, possibly, definitely possible. And the silence and the kind of Israel is kind of in the background for a moment, while these Syrian rebels and these Assad Syrian army, there's just these different groups of Muslims are warring and giving Israel a bit of a breather while they fight. I don't know. I sense something weird with that too. Like a lot of this has just got to be scripted. These rebels are just moving through and taking territory, and it doesn't seem organic. Like, what are we saying? These other military factions like didn't consider this or account for this or weren't ready for this. They call it political theater for a reason. But anyways, just wanted to share some of these thoughts, especially in light of the UFO, the blatant UFO stuff, and the people being freaked out by that. And it's just like this, like the knob is being turned up. It's like a fevered pitch. Like people are on the cusp of like, what's coming? Like, inauguration is still coming too. All these moving pieces, all this war. And some video clips I was even seeing of these Syrian rebels, and they were executing and roughly treating people, even killing Russians. I mean, it makes me think if we're in the sealed judgments as the church, not in the wrath of God yet, not in that sixth seal where it says the day of wrath has come, but in these sealed judgments. And like 1st or 2nd Peter says, if judgment is coming, and it begins with the house of God. So we can go through judgments that come upon this earth that are right and just, Could we be seeing them? Could we be seeing this red horse, this great sword where men will kill each other? I don't know. I'm not dogmatic on that quite yet, but from what we're seeing, man, and if the white horse was deception, red horse is all this war we're seeing currently. Black horse is greater inflation. Green horse, all manners of death. It's hard to tell, and it's just something else. Okay, one thing I wanted to end with, guys, and if this video is blessing you, please quick hit the thumbs up, guys. It helps, and I appreciate it. We're going through tough times, seeing all of this, and the attacks and the onslaught of spiritual warfare, and the devil hating us, and those who have different spirits in them being opposed to us, different kinds of persecutions that Jesus promised we would have. Well, I wanted to just share a few scriptures to just encourage us that the Lord has loving kindness and mercy and forgiveness and grace. His love is so awesome. And coupled with that, to the ones who will not receive that and who hate the truth and they prefer unrighteousness, the Lord is also just, and that justice is coming. That justice is definitely coming. We read that in 2 Thessalonians 1:9. So they will pay the penalty of eternal destruction, away from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Verse 6 also says, it is only, and the next word is just. So it's only right and just for the Lord to do these things, for his judgment to come. Wrath is his. We also read about that in Jeremiah 18. I am bringing such disaster upon this place, excuse me, that the ears of everyone who hears of it will tingle, because they have filled this place with the blood of the innocents and have built the high places of Baal. Jeremiah 19:3-5. The Lord is bringing disaster on these wicked ones. We hear a lot about this wrath and judgment coming. Jesus described his own part in Judgment Day. He said, depart from me into eternal fire, Matthew 25. He said, woe to you, Chorazin, woe to you, Bethsaida, in Matthew 11. Woe to you, Pharisees, in Luke 11. Woe is like a curse. You are cursed. Woe to you, lawyers, Luke 11. Woe to the one who has betrayed me, Matthew 26:24. So Jesus preached judgment throughout his ministry. That is coming. So therefore, knowing that that's coming, we need to just continue to be courageous and bold, right? Continue to be sharing Jesus, pointing people towards the Lord, giving them words from the Word, knowing this judgment is coming. And at the end, those who won't receive it, like, it is right and it is good and it is just for the Lord to do what he's going to do. But yeah, woe unto these people. They are cursed, and that's a terrifying thing. But again, that's where we come in. We also think of the martyrs who are under the altar, who are saying, how much longer, Lord, until you avenge our death? So that's all coming, and let that encourage you. If you're suffering any kind of persecution, things are hard, like, let's ride loose in the saddle and not take the reins of control and be like, I'm going to get them back, or I'm going to say a harsh word to them, or no. I used to be like that, actually, before I knew Jesus. I'm like, oh, no, don't mess with me. But now I'm like, that's par for the course for someone who is lost, or someone who's backslidden, or a younger believer. They can act foolish and stupid, and we can be compassionate by knowing that, oh shucks, this person just really needs grace, needs salvation. And when we look at it from that regard, and knowing the Lord will judge with all who deny him, let's just love people. Let's be strong and bold and courageous, and not necessarily be pushed over. We need to always give them Jesus and love. But one of the greatest things we can do is just tell the truth in love. If someone is in sin or against that which is good and righteous, we don't just say, oh, well, we can speak the truth in love. Hey, bro, you're a solid brother. I care about you. That's wicked and wrong. Don't do that. That offends the Lord. You don't want to fall into the hand of the living God, however Holy Spirit might lead us. But this is some things I wanted to share with you. So that day of wrath and vengeance is coming, and it is the Lord. So we won't touch it. We're just going to continue to give Jesus, to be loving, to strive on the narrow path, and to be aware of these headlines, especially this alien stuff and this nuclear talk. Yeah, we know the deception is coming. We know the nukes are coming. I believe we're in World War III. It just hasn't gone nuclear yet. And we know there's a lot of side stories and distractions as well. And we know with Israel being at the focal point of all of this, the Lord is soon going to turn his attention to Israel fully, that time of Jacob's sorrow. And it's purposeful. It is to bring unbelieving Israel to saving understanding and faith on King Jesus, the Messiah who they, as a nation, as a people, pushed to be killed. But they're still the Lord's people, and he's got a great plan for Israel. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. So be encouraged. We are close hearing these kinds of things and this blatant stance of these Project Blue Beams or government ships or demonic manifestations. That alien deception is coming. So therefore, we know King Jesus is coming even sooner. All right, guys, Jesus bless you. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it. And King Jesus willing, I will see you next time. God bless you.